If you even knew how mean she really is, you know that I'm not allowed to wear hoop earrings, right? Yeah, 2 years ago she told me that hoop earrings were her thing, and that I wasn't allowed to wear them anymore. And then for Hanukkah, my parents got me this pair of really expensive white gold hoops. And I had to pretend like I didn't even like them, and it was so sad.
Mean Girls is a well-known teen comedy about a young girl, Katie Heron, who grew up in Africa. She is thrown into a high school in Illinois and faces obstacles like no others. The Plastics. The Plastics are a popular clique with incredibly high standards and rules, including wearing pink on Wednesdays and never wearing sweatpants more than once a week. If anyone breaks these ridiculous rules, they become a social outcast. The pressure is just too much for Katie, who ends up becoming a twisted, egotistical brat. Unfortunately, this isn't just a problem in Mean Girls, but in high schools everywhere. Many teenagers like Katie Heron and Gretchen Wieners fall under the pressure from people around them and do whatever it takes to feel accepted.
So what is social control?
Social control is like your control over your social media accounts, like what you do on them, and
control over what you do socially.
Like interact socially.
social environments.
Well, social control is the enforcement of conformity by society on its members by social pressure. Teens suffer these pressures more than any other age group. Because we're so vulnerable while trying to make a name for themselves, it's easy to get consumed in the wrong kind of cliques. Teens are more vulnerable to peer pressure than adults because they get greater pressure from behaviors they experience as rewarding, says Shirley S. Wang from the Wall Street Journal. The need to impress our peers is overwhelming at times and causes adolescents to make mistakes or decisions that we would not normally make. But not only do teenagers have to endure these problems at school, but everywhere they go because of social media.
Social media and movies often encourage teens to think they have to look or act a certain way to be accepted by society, sometimes without knowing it. The combination of intense peer pressure and violence-saturated media may have a strong effect on teens, bringing about terrible consequences, says Susie L. Morris from ABC News. With sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr, and much more, it's easy for kids to get consumed with what everyone else is doing. Everywhere you go, you will see kids glued to their cell phones. Let's hear from some of our own Jamestown students.
How many forms of social networking do you have?
I think 6. 3.
5, I think.
Why do you have them?
So I can communicate with other people and keep
In the loop, yeah. I don't like to be out of it.
Stay in the know.
Teenagers often conform to feel accepted by their peers, even if it means doing something they know is wrong. A poll of 25 Jamestown students was conducted asking if they participated in any of the following activities: drinking, doing drugs, and sexual relations. After asking all of these questions, we asked if any of the decisions had been influenced by their friends. When it came to drinking, only 3 out of the 14 students who said they had drank said they were pressured by their friends. The rest said that their friends did not influence the decision. With drugs, 1 out of 5 admitted to falling to peer pressure. And finally, when it came to sexual relations, 5 out of 17 said they felt pressure from a peer. Teens feel more pressure than any other age group, and a lot of the time, the risky behaviors they demonstrate are not their own behaviors, but a reflection of those around them.
Friends have the most influence over teenagers, but parents can raise them to feel comfortable as themselves and independent enough to make the right choices. Teen peer pressure often comes from within. They feel the need to do things that they think their peers are doing. Parents can help their kids overcome this social control and grouping by supporting their children from the beginning. Raise them to be unique, independent, vocal, and give them a sense of self-encouragement. If parents stand by their children from day one and set boundaries but not restrictions, kids will try to make them proud. Parents preparing their kids for harsh situations in the future could also help teens make a stand against unity, conformity, and say no to things that they're not comfortable with. In other words, social control is defining yourself by other people's standards.
Unlike Gretchen Wieners, teenagers should stand up for themselves and ignore peer pressure and do what they think is right.